little bit more, folks, and whoop, yeah, the sky's still blue here, so I've got this at 500 milliseconds. The gain's 84, and the binning is at 2. Binning is a must here to increase the sensitivity even more. Absolutely outstanding images with the binning engaged. The digital binning is not quite the same as a CCD or CMOS binning. It's not quite the same. It's done through the software. And right now we're going to have to wait for a little bit darker sky, obviously, because it's not the best here tonight. Actually, I thought it would be a lot better according to the weather people. And we're just going to stack 3 images to get rid of the noise, and let's see what's going to happen. This is a half a second, 500 millisecond exposure. This is blue sky environment as well. There you go. This is only 3 stack average. When you stack average, you don't gain anything. You don't gain exposure. You only gain the ability to even out the graininess or the noise from the CMOS sensor, and this is what we're getting here. And we're running a focal reducer, the Universe focal reducer at the moment. All we got here is a 3 stack image. Very, very, very nice. So half a second is not bad at all, considering we got blue skies and there's clouds out that way, thin clouds. We can't see Mars at the moment. It's right in the clouds. We see it, but it's very faint. Beautiful field of view. Even at binning, digital binning 2, I find this very, very attractive. Okay, Simon, I don't know if you're still there or not, but you're going to be in for a treat with this camera. It's quite the thing. You just got to get to know how to deal with the graininess of the CMOS. These are back illuminated, so they're quite sensitive. This is the one I was working on when you Skyped with me on Friday. Basically, I put a spacer under the lens, between the lens and the cell stopper. So we've got about 2.5 millimeter where distance where the lens is away from the sensor. You can use a 10 millimeter spacer if your telescope allows it. But in this case here, I wanted to have perfect pinpoint corner to corner diagonally, and I want to take advantage of the rich and corrected optics in there, and this is exactly what it's doing with that specific focal reducer coupled up with the DS10c. I've got the new Universe 2 camera here, which I'm going to try later. I'm going to put the exact same focal reducer on it, because the Universe has a much bigger sensor. I want to see if we're going to get vignetting or even coma out of it, and I'm just dying to know about it. But this specific combination here suits the DS10 absolutely perfect. That's what I like about it anyway. So we'll wait and see what's going to happen here. We're just going to continue some quick live. We're just going to do some live observation here a little bit. I need to tweak the focus a bit more, and we're going to do that in a moment. Here, I just stopped the stacking. You can see the amount of noise there is in there rolling, and mind you, this is quite short exposure. I haven't gone yet into trigger mode whatsoever with this camera and the scope and the focal reducer. I find just using the video mode is plenty, especially if you're going to use the HCG high conversion gain, which is activated on, and if you dare go into digital binning 2, it turns this camera into a monster. It's a star eater, it's a galaxy eater, it's a nebula eater. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable to say the least. And we certainly benefit with no amp glow and no and much larger sensor, obviously. We still get to get some pretty decent detail in some of the object. I'm going to turn up the exposure just a tad here. And what I would like to do is position the star right above the star that's at 11 o'clock position from M27. I'm going to use that star to focus. Okay, here we go. Just give me a moment. We're going to try to achieve a better focus here. Hang on. Just lowering the gain a little bit down to about 55 compared to 84 where I had it, or 85. And we'll get to focus a little bit better. Yeah, I was running the fan inside the optical tube for the past hour, and I think it made things worse. I should have not touched the fans. Okay, this is quite good, just the way it is. And yeah, this is very, very nice. Okay. Let's put back the gain where it was. And we're going to lower this to 1,000 millisecond exposure. Probably a little bit higher. Okay, this is 2.5 second. And we're going to give a little bit more gamma. There you go. Okay, we're going to recenter M27. Okay, so we're running this at 2.5 second exposure. 2.5 second exposure. We're just starting the stacking of the 3 frames or so, and my goodness, it certainly looks good. The colors are good. The background's getting darker a little bit around this area. Oh, this is the DS10 here. We're running at 2.5 seconds on the 12-inch RC, the VRC 12, and we're really using a 0.5 X focal reducer from the Universe, and I think we're getting pretty good results that are quite nice. I'm still not happy with the focus. I think last night was a lot better. As I said, I ran the 3 fans in the optical tube to cool down the optic, and I think it made things worse. I should have left it off just like I had last night, which things were just perfect. But no, it's doing quite well. Take a snap of this and compare that a little bit later. Okay, we're back on live. But I don't do that anymore, Jack. I'm going to stop doing this simply because the scope is already out in the open air, in the dome here, so we shouldn't have to run this at all. I find it made it worse a little bit, so I'm going to let them cool off naturally and see what's going to happen. It's still very pinpoint. There's no question about it. The RC, Rigid Optics is doing its job because if you look at diagonally from upper right to lower left and upper left to lower right, the stars are pinpoint right across the field. There's no coma, no vignetting or anything like that. This is a perfect fit on the sensor generated by the scope and the focal reducer. It'd be nice to figure out what the field of view is of that using the program that you use, Jack, or online. I forgot what it's called, astrometry, I believe, and it would tell us a little bit of an idea for the field of view or the focal reduction.
This is first class.
We got thin clouds all over the place here tonight, and it's fairly humid. Tomorrow's going to be even hotter, so it's not the best night. Last night was the night. I've got a hard time seeing the Milky Way here tonight, and last night it was the opposite. We could see the Milky Way perfect. Despite the lights from Giant Tiger, it was just perfect. Okay, I'm going to swing this to another target. I don't know. South here, there was for about 35, 40 degrees up, there was clouds. We could barely see Mars. So I'm going to go down for some southern objects, such as M16. So bear with me for a moment, folks. We're just going to get up and turn the dome and swing the telescope right on it. And we're going to stop the stacking as well, so we'll be able to move the scope. There you go. This is a single image now. All right. Just bear with me for a moment, and I'm going to be right back. We're going to lower the exposure down to about 1.5.